Well, how about we jump in? Okay, my name is Bob Garcia, and I head up product marketing for Acton. Excited to have you join us today for Acton's quarterly product showcase webinar. Today, I'm joined by Olaf, who heads up our product management organization, and Duessa, who's one of our lead product managers. Let them introduce themselves and say hello.
Hey, everyone. Great to join you this morning.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Excellent. And so just a quick note, some house cleaning here. We're going to be recording today's session, and we'll be following up with an email with a link to the recorded presentation, as well as a copy of the slides. And then if you have any questions during the webinar, we'll try to address those at the end. We've got a lot of content today. There should be a Q&A box on your screen, and let's jump in. So here's a recap of us and our roles at the company. And here's today's agenda. So we're going to start out with looking back. Before we look forward, we're going to cover some innovations that we released in Q4 last quarter. So we're continually making updates to the product, and the purpose of this webinar is to keep you apprised of those and to get you excited about what's coming and invite you to participate in some of our early adopter and beta initiatives. Then we're going to move into Acton Contacts, and Duessa is going to be walking us through the early adopter program and the value of that solution and innovation to improve your contact management within Acton. Olaf's going to get into UX innovations that we're working on this quarter and we'll be releasing. And then we're going to touch on other product updates we've made, as well as getting into what's coming for the rest of this quarter and into next quarter. And we'll close with how to get involved in your questions. So with that, Olaf.
Thanks, Bob. So yeah, lots to cover this morning. So just wanted to start with a bit of a look back into Q4 of last year. One of the main updates we made was to our user management. So we updated not only the user interface of the section that you manage your users with, but we also updated the emails that are sent, the welcome email, and tried to really just improve that whole workflow and that whole section. So we have better bulk management. There's an easy way to copy user permissions. You can now search and sort your users within Acton more easily. And the email format again is totally updated, and it does include a way to have a custom greeting. And so next, I think we kind of skipped ahead a little bit. I think the next page, yeah, branding page. So this is another update we made to a section of the product. So you'll see in this presentation, really going through all the core section of the product, redesigning them, adding new features. So this we did last quarter. This is the branding page. These are all your basic branding assets. As you can see, the user interfaces is updated to our current design system, design language. And we changed the way that you can view status, and you got multiple ways to see the list of assets. So just a improvement to the way you can manage these branding assets. And we also made some improvements to automated programs. We'll be talking about that more in the presentation. So we've made a pretty large commitment to upgrading the entirety of automated programs. So this in particular was consolidating our navigation, so you aren't having to go off into the left nav bar, adding some tabs with action drop downs, so you can more easily manage and view program status and performance, as well as a couple new features that just add some better visibility into starting programs and errors. And next, the form confirmation alert. So we really wanted to improve the performance of this key email. So we not only added a new look and feel to it, but also now these emails are sent immediately to and the end users, the people who submit the forms, they get their confirmation right away. So we're not susceptible to delays anymore. And same type of improvement to the form submission alert. So this goes to the Act-On user who is associated with that form. So again, improved performance, new user interface, a lot more detail around the form submission itself, as well as a quick link to the contact report. So just a lot better information content and improved performance. So really excited to roll that out. And we are continuing to work on email alerts. So we did a lot back in Q4. We're going to be wrapping up in Q1. This is really covering all of the email alerts that we have within the product. So we're improving the layout, the information content, your subscription options, and adding more links and contextual information within the alerts themselves. So you'll see that continuing probably till the end of Q1. Right, so now we'll talk about what we, I think we may have skipped a slide there, but yeah, I think maybe Duess is up next.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to give you an update on our Act-On Contacts program. If you want to jump ahead, Bob. Thank you. So Act-On Contacts is an initiative that we've been working on for a while. And we're really excited that in Q1, we announced that we moved out of our beta period and into an early adopter opt-in launch period. And what that means is that this Act-On Contacts solution is now ready for any customer who's interested to request that we activate it on your account. What Act-On Contacts is a new way of managing our contact data, so that instead of having contacts duplicated across multiple lists, we're combining all of the contacts into one single contact list called All Contacts. And we have a new experience here in the UI for you to manage those contacts, create segments and manage the segments underneath and all of the subsegments and hierarchy of segmentation for that contact list. This gives you a lot more organizational tools like the nested subfolders, the tags, more information at your fingertips about the segmentation, and just an overall better experience. And it also helps eliminate duplicates and confusion over which contacts are the most up-to-date data when they're spread across multiple lists. This is now available for opting in. For most of our clients, we are still working on support for Microsoft Dynamics. So if you integrate with Dynamics, not quite ready for you. But for most everyone else, it's definitely something you can opt into. You can run it in parallel with marketing lists as you convert over, or you can migrate everything over and run exclusively on the All Contacts experience. Go ahead, Bob. So as I mentioned, no more duplicates, better syncing with the CRM. We could sync multiple lead scores, better user experience, leads and contacts combined, so you don't have to duplicate segmentation across both lists. And we're going to be really focusing on this as we build new features in the future. Next slide, please.
Hey, Duessa, there's a quick question. Will Act-On Contacts eventually be required for everyone?
We don't have any current plans to mandate this conversion at this time. We realize that for customers, it is going to take a while for people to adapt and to move things over. We are starting to board the majority of our new clients directly on the All Contacts experience. And as we mentioned, offering at this point this early adopter option. There will be some new features going forward that are only compatible with the All Contacts experience. So it's definitely something to consider moving towards over time, but there's no mandate or rush, and you can run both of them in parallel. Go ahead.
Thanks for that clarification.
One thing to mention regarding the Act on Contacts initiative is there is an updated API. So anyone who is using API integration, we do have some new endpoints to allow you to integrate with the all contacts list and be managing segments rather than individual lists. Next slide. Just a little bit of customer feedback. We've gotten a lot of really positive comments for the people who are working with this experience now. Just a lot of advantages in both the UI, having activity history and more data at their fingertips, and just a much easier user experience. Next slide. Few resources to learn more if you're interested in exploring some of the features here. We have a course and some posts, and go ahead to the next slide. There is a link here when you get the slide deck. If you are interested in having this feature turned on for you, just go ahead and fill out this form and we will activate it, and you'll have access to that new feature.
Excellent. One more question came through to us. Does Act on Contacts integrate with an in-house CRM that connects to Act On through an API?
Right. Yeah. So as I mentioned, the API is updated. So if you do have an existing integration with something that uses the APIs, there would need to be some work to change out those endpoints, but it's pretty minor changes. It's just really, everywhere that you integrated with one particular list, you're going to just switch that over to a different endpoint.
Thanks for clarifying that. Okay, well, that's some exciting updates about Act on Contacts and the Early Adopter Program. Definitely reach out. And like I said, these slides will be shared out, and these links are clickable, so you'll be able to get into the different content that's related to each of the pages. Olaf?
Thanks. Yeah, we'll now switch over to talk a little bit about some of our user experience redesigns that we've done lately. Yeah, so this quarter, we updated the content fragments page. So this is one of many pages that we have started to convert to our new look and feel. And this comes along with subfolders and tagging for better management. So you can really now begin to more effectively manage all the assets that you have within Act On. We also have bulk action support and improved filtering and search. So this will be a common theme here, throughout the year as we go through the product and update the core sections. So next, we have a Act On Contacts only feature. So as Dwessa mentioned, we started to roll out features that are specific to Act On Contacts. So this is a pretty major improvement to the way that A/B test splits work. So you can see we have a lot more flexibility in the number of splits that you have, the way that we recalculate the splits. You can now anchor certain values. So there's just a lot more flexibility in the way that you configure those. So this is a really exciting feature. It's another benefit of Act On Contacts. And as we release new features in Act On Contacts, it's a great time to take advantage of the Early Adopter Program. And as Dwessa mentioned, you can run marketing lists and Act On Contacts at the same time. So you don't have to make a cut over immediately. So as we go, we'll be introducing more functionality there that will hopefully get customers interested in that new capability. And list maintenance programs. This was another major update that we made. This is now in beta. So I think at the end of the conversation, Bob will be reminding folks how to sign up and make yourself available for our betas. This again brings subfolders and tags into list maintenance programs. It also brings along a couple of customer feature requests So the change field option that you get when you are configuring your list maintenance program to tell it what to do now has a couple new features. One is you can set a field value to today's date. So it's a handy way to do date and time stamping. And you can also use personalization fields or concatenating other values. So you have more flexibility in the specific value and the variables that you use to insert into your list. This is an example of us going through the product and making sure that everything is compatible with Act on Contact. So previously with marketing lists, that's what list maintenance programs were operating on. Now they need to be compatible with Act on Contact. So we took the opportunity to not only update the user interface, but also to add a couple customer feature requests. And automated programs. So this should be rolling out here in the next month or so. This is our final phase of overhauling the automated programs feature. So if you recall, we have, we introduced the Canvas view a couple of years ago. Last year, we redid the whole dashboard, and now we're finalizing it with the asset management page. So the page you see all of your programs on now will have subfolders, will have tags, again, filtering and search, bulk actions, all those features that we're starting to roll out to improve asset management, visibility, and also just a way to do any kind of cleanup you may need, or make sure that you don't have excess programs running, so you can tag things and manage them more easily now. And the templates list is coming along for the ride. So as I mentioned before, what we're starting to do is pull in to more consolidated navigation and user interface. A lot of the items that were previously in the left navigation. So rather than having to go out to left nav and click around, you're now kind of within a consolidated UI with tabs. So you can now see programs and templates in the same user interface, switch back and forth more easily. This has also been completely redesigned. So we have a new process for creating programs from templates. There is a new kind of wizard-based experience that we have when you click on new. So again, this is just the completion of automated program redesign. They should be coming out later this month. And Marketing Network, we started this quarter, so we have a multi-phase initiative here to update all of Marketing Network. We're starting with the inbox, and this is where you see your shared assets. That's going to have an entirely new user interface, and we are pulling in some feature requests there as well. Up next, we'll be working on the other tabs that are currently within the Marketing Network. And if you're not familiar with Marketing Network, this is where customers who have multiple instances of Act-On can share assets. They can allocate resources. They can change permissions, get a view of active contact usage, emails sent, things like that. So this is sort of the management console for a multiple instance setup of Act-On.
It's really great for multiple brands or multiple geographies. So if you have any needs for this, please do reach out to your account manager.
Yep, and a few additional updates outside of user experience. So first off, we've got email alerts. So as I mentioned, this will be completing at the end of this month. We've gone through and redesigned every email touch point that you see within Act-On. So all the alerts, all the updates, all the informational messages that are sent, those are now being or have been mostly redesigned. And in addition to just better layout, better content, and taking customer feedback, into account. We've also improved the way you subscribe and filter for these, so they're easier to manage and easier to customize and tailor who gets which information. And we recently had TikTok added to our advanced social media add-on. So in addition to other social networks, we now support TikTok. So that gives you all the functionality that you had with other social channels in the advanced social media add-on. Now you've got TikTok as well. And one change we'll be rolling out probably early April, is a new feature that gives you a check and a warning as you're sending an email about whether your key deliverability configurations are set up appropriately. So we're doing some customer communication around this now. You should be hearing shortly from us about how this works. We wanted to make sure that everyone's aware of what the change is, how it works before we introduce it. But what you'll see is in the validation prior to sending an email, a specific deliverability concerns area with 3 key configuration items to be aware of. So this will be rolling out probably in April. And looking forward to the rest of 2023, lots of good stuff coming up. So we'll dive into that. Forms section redesign. So now we've completed automated programs here shortly. We're diving into forms. So forms and landing pages are all going to get the same user interface, again, with all the new asset management, the new layout options. So really excited to roll that out. Along with form templates. So just the same way as with automated programs, you get the programs and the templates in the same consolidated user interface. You get all the same organizational tools. Now we're working on forms as well. So this is an area that customers have a lot of assets, a lot of forms. So a pretty high need to keep things organized, manage things, maybe shut off some forms you don't need anymore, and tag and sort and filter in different ways so you can kind of slice and dice your views more easily. So really excited to have this rolling out later in Q2. And website prospector alerts. This is also a pretty major feature redesign we're doing. This is the final part of the email alerts initiative we had. So we're again adding more control over which visitors your sales team gets alerted on, so you can kind of control that a little bit better. And content filters and a lot of just additional criteria for segmentation and figuring out, you know, who gets what. Given how important these alerts are, there's just a lot more fine-grained need to filter and identify who actually gets these. So these are the alerts that are sent out when a target account visits your website. So that'll be coming out in Q2 as well. And as I mentioned, we'll be continuing with the marketing network redesign. So this is an entirely new user experience across all the areas within the marketing network features. So account management, usage reporting, search, all the things that you can do today. We do have a number of customer requests in this area that we're also including. So we're really excited to be rolling this out probably late Q2, early Q3 with an entirely new experience. This will probably be coming out in different phases. And Act On Anywhere. So this is our sales and marketing kind of alignment tool. So this is a plugin that works with your email program. So either Microsoft Outlook or Gmail on the web, Outlook on the web. This allows salespeople to utilize templates from Act-On when they send emails. The salesperson can get open and click tracking for emails. They're basically sent through Act-On. The reporting is done within Act-On. They get open notifications, and they can insert forms, media, and landing page links within the actual email. So this whole experience will be redesigned, and we'll be excited to kind of get a new look and feel here, and just make sure it's a little more robust than it is today. And the revenue impact report, this is the first of a number of reports we want to redesign. Working on this right now. So this will have a whole new user interface to it, as well as a key feature that allows you to identify custom revenue fields. So there'll be a new field mapping interface here that allows you to pull in whatever revenue field you use within your CRM, so that we're not just tied to a single standard revenue location. So this is going to be able to kind of open this up to more customers with custom CRM configurations, and bring that revenue kind of outcome into the marketing picture. As I mentioned, after we do that revenue impact report, we're going to be moving on to funnel reports and revenue attribution, and then looking at the rest of our reports. So this will be rolling out throughout the year, but we're now taking a look at these reports that are driven by the CRM, and use CRM data either to portray your funnel stages and your revenue cycle, and or your financial outcomes tied to marketing activities. So really excited to be getting into this now as well. And of course, Act-On Contacts, as Duessa mentioned, that will be continuing. So we have a couple more key features that will make Act-On Contacts compatible with a larger segment of our customer population. So customers using FTP Sync or Dynamics are not supported today, so we'll be adding that. And then we'll also be adding a support for custom objects. So that'll allow you to bring in more easily and in a more flexible way third-party data, additional data into Act-On to support segmentation, scoring, targeting, data analytics, things like that.
Well, I've got a question about from a person about tags. Would we use those, and what are they used for? A little bit more context around the tag feature that we're adding.
Yeah, sure. So if you want to go back a couple slides, we can maybe see one of the slides that has tags on it. We can talk about that a little bit. So what a tag does is it's if you use yeah, so there is one. Yeah, that's right. So tags are in that second column there. It's a little hard to see, but they're basically like if you use Gmail, it's basically like a text label. So for example, you could have a tag that was like related to your customer segment. So you could have like retail or fintech or something like that. You could also tag things with a year. You could maybe tag things with the name of the group that created it. So tags are really a way to organize that you could filter by that tag. So let's say you just wanted to look at forms that are used by a particular group or for a particular audience segment. So they're a sort of second dimension to organization that can be used in conjunction with folders. So you could put things in the folders. Maybe your folders are like date organized. So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 campaigns. That's how you put your assets in the folders. But then within that, maybe you have like a team or a group or an initiative that you want to kind of see across folders. So you can have multiple tags, they're all color coded, and that's how that works.
Thanks for that context. But just a lot of organizational flexibility to allow you to organize and group your content, your programs in a more, manageable way.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's get back to cool. And just to close, we've got a couple different ways you can engage with us. We have the early adopter program going for Act on Contacts. We have a tremendous, inventory of help documents in our Connect environment. So highly encourage you to leverage connect.acton.com for information about the product, even different plays you could run using marketing automation. And then for our product partner program to get involved in betas, there's a form you can fill out and volunteer to get involved. We love to have our customers participate in our product development lifecycle because it just makes the features more relevant, and we love getting customer feedback. Do SO up anything to add there?
No, thanks everybody for joining us. Really great to talk, and I think we'll talk to you again next quarter.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. We are definitely up at the top of the time, and like I said, we'll be sending out a copy of the presentation that has links to all the relevant content as well as a link to the recording. Thanks again for joining, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.